Any bedoozle. Let's talk about some movies. We're going to start off with the movies that we're going to do this as I always do. We're going to start off with the movies I haven't seen, then to the movies I have seen, then into the like TV shows, and then we'll finish with VHS, and then we'll jump over to Letterbox and we'll do some review catch-ups. We're catching up on some reviews here. So let's get started. Surprisingly, in my stack I haven't watched is pretty small, other than some of the VHSs. The VHS stack is kind of big, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So I don't have these in any particular order quite yet, so we're just going to go through these one by one. But I picked up Tome. I think I'm saying that right. This is a film that was put out by Arrow Video. I'm dropping it. This was a film put out by Arrow Video. This is based off a Junji Ito comic. Let me actually like squirt. Why do I keep saying squirt? Let me move over to the middle here. But anyway, Arrow Video put out a release of it. I have a, hold on, I'll show you. I have Tomei. I don't know how to actually say it. Beginning on DVD. I got a Half Price Books a while ago. This, I believe, is like the third or fourth film. And this one is the first film, but also I'm a huge Junji Ito fan, so I'm really looking forward to watching this at some point. But you get a little booklet with it. And that's pretty much it. You get some reversible art, I guess. But special feature-wise, you do get brand new audio commentary by Amber T. It's a Girl's World, brand new interview with the director. Scream Queen, brand new interview with the actress. From manga to screen, brand new interview with producer. An archive making documentary, trailers, and image gallery, yada yada. So not anything like super duper exciting, but I am excited to watch this at some point. Let me put this up real quick. I got some things off of a buddy. I think I paid him $5. I got two things. I got Shazam 2, we'll talk about in a second, and I got ISS, International Space Station. This is a horror movie that I've heard very mediocre things about. He was selling it for a good price, which is why I wanted to buy it from him, because I didn't want to spend a lot of money on this. But this is a film that, from the premise, seemed really interesting to me. You know, tensions flare on the International Space Station as conflict breaks out on Earth, reeling the American and Russian teams each receive orders to take control by any means necessary in this high-stakes space thriller. That to me is an interesting premise, so we'll see how the movie is. I picked up Mass Effect Paragon Lost during Big Lots going out of business sale. I can't remember how much I paid for this. It wasn't too much. Don't really know too much about it. It came with this little sticker and some codes that I'm not going to share. But yeah, I don't know anything about Mass Effect. Mass Effect is a game series that I've never played. I do have the Legendary Edition on Steam. I am looking forward to actually playing Mass Effect. And I saw this for pretty cheap, and I thought, why not? Because I do want to play Mass Effect at some point. And I kind of maybe have a video idea to do on these like anime feature films based on video games. Because they did one for Dead Space, they did one for Dante's Inferno. I'm pretty positive there's a Halo one too. So I thought that could make for an interesting video potentially, but I'm also really excited to play Mass Effect. I think it looks like a really fun game, and I'm excited to dive into that world. My buddy grabbed for me at Half Price Books, The Blind Swordsman, Zatoshi. I think it's Zatoshi. Zatoichi. I don't know. I'm not sure how to say it. I'd have to like look it up. My when you when you talk about like Japanese titles, Japanese names and stuff, they have kind of different ways to pronunciate vowels than what we do. And it's been a while since I've looked at like what to say what. Anyway, regardless, looks like a cool film. It was pretty cheap, so he grabbed it for me. I appreciate it. He also found me Hair Extensions, the who put this out again? Media Blasters release. This is a film by Shino Sono, who I'm pretty sure got Me Too'd pretty hard in Japan, but I like his films. I'm willing to separate art from the artist to a certain extent, and I've always wanted to see Hair Extensions, so when my buddy came across this, I was very excited for him to grab it, and I just haven't watched it yet. That same friend, Austin, thank you, also gave me for Christmas Hard to Be a God, a film that has been on my watch list for a little while now. I think it seems like a really interesting film. It is a mouthful of a synopsis, but comes with a behind the scenes documentary that's 44 minutes long. So that's always cool. I always love having like a chunky behind the scenes. I'm always willing to like check those out because I think getting a good behind the scenes featurette of like how films are made and stuff is really fun and really interesting, especially if you like the filmmaking. Like if you think filmmaking is interesting, one of the best ones is 30 Days in Hell, the Rob Zombie Devil's Rejects documentary. That is one of the best ones. An accidental rebuy for me was Jungle with Daniel Radcliffe, aka Harry Potter. This is a film directed. I'm pretty sure it's directed. Yeah, Greg McLean. He's the guy who did the Wolf Creek movies. I really like the Wolf Creek movies, but I've not seen anything else Greg McLean has done. So I'm definitely excited to check this out. I accidentally rebought this. Apparently, I already had this on DVD and repurchased it. But the Blu-ray DVD combo, I only spent $2 on at a flea market. So I'm willing to, pat myself on the back on that one. I picked up Langsky. This I found for $1 at that same flea market. Have not seen this yet. It's Harvey Keitel being Harvey Keitel, so I want to check it out just based on that. This is a huge chunk of this, especially with the VHS, came from my buddy Austin. I bought a big lot off of him, and one of the things he threw in there was Santa Claus Conquers the Martians. Something I want to do this year toward Christmas time is I want to make a video on really weird, obscure Christmas movies. So this would be one of them. Infinite Santa 8000 would be one of them. I have like a handful already picked out for the video. So I'm just kind of working my way getting them. And so when he sent me a picture of like, hey man, I'm selling all this stuff. Do you want anything? And I saw this on there. I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, I didn't even know you had that. But what's cool about this is it also comes with 10 bonus feature like retro cartoons, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Somewhere in Dreamland, Gilbert toy product reels, Star of Bethlehem, Hector's Hectic Life, Shanty Where Santa Claus Lives, Toys Will Be Toys, Ray Bolger Tap Dancing, The Candle Maker, and The Christmas Visitor, along with a Christmas music slideshow that also included in this DVD is an hour of Christmas music with a seasonal imagery reel holiday treat and vintage toy commercials. So there's like, this is a weird release and I'm excited to like kind of dive through what's all on this disc. It's there's a lot of weird stuff happening here. So that's a really cool release. Thank you, Austin. At the flea market, I found Kadosh. I don't know. It just looked interesting. I've never heard of this before. It was put out by Kino. This is Kino. It just sounded interesting. What's up, Tomsters? How's it going, buddy? This is an Israeli film that, according to Scott Healer, the Boston Phoenix, was an anguished cry and has ripped from the headline intimacy. Wait, what? I don't understand. I don't understand what he's going for there. An anguished cry has a ripped from the headlines intimacy. Oh, okay. I see what he's saying now. It's like pulling from real world. Yeah, it also comes with a making of documentary. Found it for $1. I thought, why not? A film that I'm really excited to watch. I found this also for $1. Pretty much every DVD I find at that flea market's $1. But I found Mute Witness. Good going. I just woke up. That's what's up. Mute Witness is a film that my buddy Dylan England, who, if you've not followed his YouTube channel, go check it out. He talks a lot about movies. He makes great movie reviews, but he also makes great films. We'll talk about one of them here in a little bit. But Mute Witness is a film I've wanted to watch for a long time. I never heard about it until he talked about it, and it sounds really interesting. All Billy Hughes can do is fight for his life. A mute American worker in Russia, Billy witnesses a brutal murder on a Russian movie set. Targeted by the killers, doubted by the police, and other Americans, Billy turns to the one man who can offer help. But is he her savior or her assassin? Yeah, I've heard great things about this. I'm excited to watch it. I know Arrow did like a really cool 4K release of it, but I figured for $1 I can at least grab it and watch it. The last two things from this stack I haven't watched is Santa Paws, The Search for Santa Paws, and Santa Buddies, The Legend of Santa Paws. Both got them from the flea market for $1. I think it would be fun to do a video on these movies. I have a feeling they are really crappy, but I also want to watch them with my dog. So I grabbed them for $1. I'm going to try to find the other ones. I think there's 4 like Santa Paws Air Buddy Santa movies in total. So we'll get them at some point and watch them. Now let's talk about the stuff I have seen. Let me move them over here first. We're going to start with the DVDs. I picked up for my wife for Christmas. I grabbed her Sugar and Spice. This is a really fun movie. When I bring back weird movies my wife makes me watch, this will be one of them I'll cover. Basically, one of the girls, they're all cheerleaders. One of them ends up pregnant. And because they're concerned with money, they decide they're going to try to rob a bank. It's pretty goofy. It's a lot of fun. It kind of lives in this weird, this weird time in like the late 90s, early 2000s, where there's just like these like strange, bizarre movies that would just never be made today. That's kind of where Sugar and Spice and Everything Nice kind of sits. Unfortunately, so this is out of print. I had to order this off eBay, and the copy that I received from the person on eBay, they slapped this big sticker on the back of it that will not come off without tearing it, because this is one of those, see, DVDs back in the day used to be like this. This is like cardboard paper. This is the way a lot of the cases were kind of at the start of the DVD life cycle. And yeah, if you try to peel the sticker off, it rips off all the paper. On top of that, they also shipped it in just a plastic bag, basically. So there was like no protection. So there's this big puncture hole in the back of it. So like, that's awesome, right? That's cool. As for the movie itself, I think it's great. I definitely think it's worth watching. I don't know if I'd say it's great, but it's really enjoyable. I did pick up Spider-Man 1 and 2 on DVD. Now, I used to have these back in the day, and yes, I know these are on Blu-ray. The reason I got them on DVD, 1, I found them for $1 a piece. 2, I have Spider-Man 1. So Spider-Man 1 is going to be a future screen to console. I mean, technically Spider-Man 2 and 3 will be too. But Spider-Man 1 will be one of the newer episodes that I'm going to be working on here soon. Also, the reason why I did was, look at these lists, this long line of special features. Like Spider-Man 1, the entire back case, that's 2. Spider-Man 1's entire like back case is special features. There's like nothing back here about what the movie is. It's just a special features list. That's insane. Spider-Man 2 pretty much does the same thing. It's not as long, but there's so many special features packed on these. I'm not sure if they're on the Blu-ray. I would have to look. If they're on the Blu-ray, I'll upgrade these, but that's why I was kind of okay with jumping on the DVDs, is because I just remember there being an obscene amount of special features on on these DVD releases. So I'm glad I rebought those. I did find Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, The Island of Misfit Toys. I'm trying to collect some of these weird children Christmas movies that I grew up with. I had this one on VHS as a kid. This is a sequel to the well, pseudo sequel to the like 3D animated one of the Rudolph Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's just I don't know. I doubt it's going to be any good as an adult. I did pick up Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. I also picked up the PS2 games for both of these, because I want to do a screen to console on these before the new Fantastic Four movie comes out. Also, I'm saying this with all genuinity, is that I do want to rewatch these. I haven't seen these since they probably first came out on DVD. Now I grabbed these on DVD because they're significantly cheaper than the Blu-rays. Apparently the Blu-rays are kind of pricey for these for whatever reason. The DVDs are worth next to nothing. And I bought these in a lot together for, I think, $8 with free shipping off eBay. Like, they were next to nothing. Also, the PS2 games, if you're interested, are very inexpensive as well. So I am looking forward to rewatching these. From memory, they're both like 5 out of 10s, but I am excited to rewatch them. So this one, Out Comes the Wolves. Me and my wife, had a date night, and part of that date night was we rolled a dice, went to Walmart, into their movie section, and the number that came up on that D20 is the movie we watched. So we had to go to the movie section. We started in the movie section, and it was like every movie we had seen or that was a TV show or something like that, we would skip over. And so, you know, it was like 16 or whatever like that. Well, we accidentally miscounted, and that originally landed on armor. That I'll talk about here in a minute. It was lower on the pile. That's why I'm not talking about it first. When we did a recount, we realized, because we were like, hold on, wait, this is a TV show. We realized it was actually Out Comes the Wolves. So I decided, you know what, why not? We'll just do a double feature. It'll be fun, right? This movie is a strange one because this is like an 85-minute movie. What's the length on this? 87-minute movie. This is an 87-minute movie where the first 45 minutes, the first 45 minutes or so, is pretty unbearable. The acting's pretty bad. The dialogue is wicked cringe. And it's just as like, it's going nowhere. It's like this long build up to nothing. It's this long, slow build up to like just nothing happening. And I'm just like, all right, this movie needs to figure out what it's doing quick so we can get to the point. The last 45 minutes of this movie is fantastic. Like, what a 180. Like, pretty much, I will say this, to not go into spoilers, the simple synopsis is a woman and her husband, I think it's her husband, I'm pretty sure, unbearable, yeah, right? It is unbearable. But her husband is a columnist. She grew up in the wilderness, hunter. She grew up hunting and everything like that. He wants to write a story about like hunting because, you know, he eats meat and everything like that, but does he have the guts to actually kill something to eat it? Yada, yada, yada. So, you know, they go out to this cabin and they want to do that. Well, she hires her ex-best friend. Well, I say ex, but technically best friend she grew up with, to take him out hunting. There's obviously some tensions between her best friend, who is a guy, and her husband, because obviously her best friend, you know, has feelings for her. Well, when they go out in the woods, like I said, this movie takes a 180, and I went from like, holy smokes, I really want to rewatch this now knowing what the film goes to and what it does. Because like that first like 45 minutes, I'm like, dude, this is like a 3 out of 10. Like, I'm ready for this to be over. I'm checked out. I'm ready to go. The last 45 minutes of this movie is like a solid 8 out of 10. Like it's like drastically different. And because of that, I would really like to rewatch Out Comes the Wolves. And it's one that I would recommend, but I would recommend with a asterisk of just ride it out. You know what I mean? Just ride out that first chunk. Ride out that first chunk, get to the end, and you might see something that you enjoy. All right. These are all Blu-rays. Armor with Sylvester Stallone and Jason Patric. This is a abysmal movie. This movie is terrible. I think I give it a 1 out of 10. I'm pretty sure. First off, Sylvester Stallone's in maybe 15 minutes of the runtime, if that. He has like next to nothing to do. He basically just kind of stands in one position the entire time, and he lifts a gun up. But here's the thing is, like, first off, you can tell Sly does not give a shit to be here whatsoever. But he pulls the gun up, right? Just imagine, right? He pulls the gun up. When you fire a gun, if anyone's fired a gun, it kicks, right? Every single person who fires a gun in this movie just goes, like, they don't, like, there's like no, they're not even acting like recoil or anything. It's so sloppy. Not to mention, outside of that sloppiness, very bad like smoke effects, very bad muzzle flashes. There's a scene where there is one scene that actually kind of makes watching the entire movie worth it. And there's a scene where a truck goes into the water and two characters have to climb out of the truck. And it is maybe some of the worst effects work I've ever seen in my life. And it is laughably bad. I mean, to like an insane level bad. Yeah, there's no redeeming qualities in Armor. Every aspect of this movie is terrible. It is a slog to get through. It also is one of those movies where, because of their budgetary restraints of being basically, it's about these two guys that work for an armored truck company. Their father and son, their armored truck gets robbed. That's the whole premise. The entire movie takes place on one bridge with the truck just like sitting still. So there's like nothing happening in the entire movie. So to space that out and to get to the artificial feature length runtime, they do like a lot of these flashback scenes, but these flashback scenes are spliced in such a way to where I literally thought to myself on multiple occasions, what movie are we watching right now? And it cut back to the armored truck, and I'm like, oh, that's right. This is a movie about an armored truck robbery. Yeah, this movie is terrible. Stay away from this. This is going in the for sale pile for sure. For my buddy, I picked up with ISS. I picked up Shazam 2. I like the Shazam movies. I think they're pretty fun. They're some of the better of the DC movies. David F. Sandberg is a pretty good director, in my opinion. Also, I'd put an obscene amount of money that the armored truck is just an ice cream truck that he even try. Yeah, the armored truck is as far away from an armored truck as I've ever seen. It looks like just an old box truck. Completely agree. But yeah, this one I didn't like as much as the first Shazam movie, but I still think it's pretty decent. So I'm glad to have it in the collection. I think these Shazam movies are fun. I think if DC learned how to if DC wanted to go super gritty, I'm totally happy with that. They just needed better stories, and they needed not to rush the organic build to Justice League. But on top of that is, if you kept that ultra gritty world that they were trying to go for and actually done it well, kind of like in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight universe, Shazam could have been a really great character with this like breath of levity to add to that universe. But instead, they kind of just morphed as the universe was dying. They kind of just morphed it into all being the same thing, which kind of, in my opinion, kind of clouded Shazam as a character, where he felt a little bit more generic and not as interesting as he did in the first movie. But in terms of that DC universe, I think Shazam is some of the better movies. Black Adam is not, though. Also, Big Lots going out of sale, I picked up Monsters. This is a found footage movie by Gareth Edwards. There's Gareth Edwards, and then there's like Gareth Evans or something. There's two guys with very similar names. One did monster movies and Star Wars. The other one did the Raid movies. So it's hard to keep those two separated because they're like basically the same name. But this is a found footage movie that is basically like a kaiju movie. It's a low budget kaiju movie with Scoot McNairy in it. I think this movie is really interesting. It's a really good use of a low budget, and it's a really interesting take on the found footage films without being basically Cloverfield 3.0. This copy is still sealed. I need to open it up at some point. I've seen it before, but I'm glad to finally own a physical copy. Although this sticker, I've tried to get off. It's ripping the slipcase, so I guess it's going to have this gross Big Lots sticker. But now with Big Lots being dead and gone, collector's item. I have proof it existed, damn it. I picked up the Borderlands movie. This was to watch for the worst films of 2024. That video that I did, funny enough, I went in expecting Borderlands to be the worst of the movies and was actually one of my favorites of the movies. Is this a good movie? No. Is this a good adaptation of Borderlands? No. Is this a bad movie? I don't think so. I think it's kind of like right in the middle. It's like a 5.5 out of 10. There are some fun scenes. There's this weird inconsistency of direction, mainly because there's pretty much two different directors. Some of the humor falls flat. Like, there's a lot of issues with Borderlands. As a whole, though, pretty decent. I wouldn't mind. I don't know if I'd watch it again, but I don't mind it. I would love to see an armored truck selling ice cream, right? They got like the vest and everything like that, and they hand it to you in a little briefcase, a little lockbox, You open it up and it's that SpongeBob with the fucking Baby Ruth SpongeBob. I picked up Late Night with the Devil, the Steelbook. This movie was fucking awesome. I loved Late Night with the Devil. I looked everywhere in my area, basically Walmart. That's the only area I got. But I did look in our adjacent city, which is like 50 minutes away. I did look there, couldn't find a copy of it. Thankfully, my buddy in the city he lives in found a copy of it, so he snagged me a copy of it. But it comes with all this cool little Night Owls like promotional stuff. Like, it comes with like this little air freshener. Comes with like these little postcards, this like Polaroid. Yeah, if you don't know what Late Night at the Devil is, Late Night at the Devil is a I don't I don't think I would call this movie a found footage. I know technically it's labeled under that. I don't think I would call this movie a found footage movie. This is a movie that is proposing itself to be a semi mockumentary of a late night television show that's on its dying heels. Look at that back of that slipcase. How sick is that? That's on its dying heels. And it's about the host doing some wild things to try to pull in viewerships. And one of those things is he brings on someone who is supposedly possessed. Now, obviously, it's a horror movie. You know where it's going. But I loved this movie. First off, Damien Demouchian, if I'm saying his last name right, Desmouchian, is a fantastic actor. And I've thought this for years. So I'm really happy he's starting to get some of the recognition that he really deserves. I've been following him for a while now. And I've always been pretty impressed when he shows up. He's always shown up as like this side character and stuff. But Late Night of the Devil is a perfect example that he can 100% hold the entire film together as the main character. Yeah, I think this movie's awesome. It's one of my favorite horror movies of last year. I can't remember. I think I did a review on this on the channel. I'm not 100% sure. But I'm excited to rewatch it. Also, if you open up with Pentagram in the movie, it's automatically a bonus for me. They open up with Forever My Queen by Pentagram. So that's awesome. Also, shout out to Pentagram for going viral finally. After like 50 years of having some of the best metal music of all time, a video of Bobby leaving, their singer just doing Bobby on stage, went viral. So I'm glad they're getting some traction. Well, that's why we put in Steelbook Protector, right? It do be doing the protecting. I don't know why I dropped so much shit. Yeah, we're all good. No damage. Steelbook Protector for the win. I picked up Terrifier 3 Steelbook, so I have Terrifier 2 and 3 in Steelbook. Fortunately, I was not able to find the Terrifier 3 VHS like they did with Terrifier 2. So I'm a little bummed out by that, but I did pick it up on Blu-ray, 4K and Blu-ray, the Steelbook. Yeah, I like Terrifier 3. I think it might be my least favorite of the trilogy. I might like it better than 1. I don't know. But I still really enjoyed it. It's really fun. The Terrifier movies are just a really good time. They're super gory. They're super violent. The gore effects are top notch. Yeah, they're good. They're good slasher movies. This is a movie that I personally cannot recommend enough. It is one of my favorite films I've watched recently, if not maybe my favorite film I've watched recently. But that is The Lost City of Children. My buddy got me this for Christmas. Austin, thank you. This is a film directed, I think it's co-directed actually, by Jean-Paul Guiltier. I don't know how you say his last name. I think it's co-directed. Hold on. I don't know. I can't read the back of it. Not very well. But anyway, this is a movie that's been on my watch list for a long time. John Pierre, by the way, is also the one who directed Amelie, which is a fantastic movie. Yeah, this movie's great. So basically, it is about a freak show strongman played by Ron Perlman, whose little brother gets kidnapped in this like weird city where this like scientist guys are making these experiment on children to like basically steal their memories so the one guy can like have a good dream, if I remember right. But anyway, so he teams up with this girl to basically stop the whole thing. And it is beautifully shot. The set production is some of the most gorgeous set production I've ever seen in my life. The cinematography is great. The music's great. There's really nothing really bad about this movie, and I genuinely can't wait to watch it again. I just watched it, and I was just like, the whole time, if you know who Tim Burton is or you like Tim Burton movies, the whole time I watched this, I was just thinking to myself, Tim Burton, eat your heart out. Yeah, Lost City of Children was lived beyond. It's a movie, as a Ron Perlman fan, it's a movie that's been high on my watch list for a while because it's one of his most popular movies I haven't seen yet. I also really liked Amelie, so he's also directed a movie called Delicatessen that's also on my watch list. So I've been meaning to get to that for a while, and my buddy grabbed it for me, so I'm super thankful. Also, it can be a future screen to console because there is a PS1 game of it Well, that PS1 game is like $400. So it's not going to be an episode anytime soon. I did pick up Pesadilla. This is my buddy Dylan England's film. So anything I say about Dylan England's work in terms of his films, you can take it with a little bit of grain of salt because he is my buddy. But this is a movie that I got to go see at his small premiere in Kentucky. I got to go actually see it in person in a theater, so that was really cool. He ended up getting a Blu-ray distribution deal through Bayview Entertainment. You can buy this on Amazon right now. You can also rent it on Amazon, or you can watch it on Tubi. This is a independent sub $20,000 project about a group of would-be robbers trying to break into somebody's house. That family they're trying to break into is struck with grief, and that grief is kind of manifested into a horrific monster. Now, one of the things that I will say about Dylan is he is super ambitious and he is a very creative person. What I mean by that is he comes up with these ideas and how to structure them in a very interesting and unique perspective that feels like is his own thing. I really admire his work. And I'm not saying that because I've become friends with him, but like my favorite filmmakers that I've always looked at as like, you know, I really like these filmmakers. I like the work they're do. One thing they all kind of have in common is they have their own unique voice. You can turn on a Tarantino movie, you know, it's a Tarantino movie, Refn, Von Trier, Kareen, any of these guys, Noé, whatever. You turn on one of their movies and you know it's them, right? And I feel that way about Dylan. Dylan is carving his own like voice and path, and I'm glad not only have I become friends with him, but also because it's been fun to watch him do all these different experimentations. He has a bunch of short films on his YouTube channel, but this being his second feature film, it's really interesting what he's like willing to like go for. And I think Pesadilla is really cool. I think this is a really good example of how to do something to make it feel like on a large scale, even though it's a really small scale movie with a micro budget. So yeah, I liked it. If you've watched a movie, if you watched any of the movies like in the giallo genre, I feel like this kind of fits in there, kind of in that like genre in a way. Yeah, it's a cool movie. I genuinely like it. If I didn't know Dylan personally, I never knew him, this would still be a movie I'd grab on Blu-ray because I like movies that can take next to nothing budget and do something interesting with it. Pesadilla does that. Other movies do it, like Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes, The Headhunter, One Cut of the Dead, Dead Dicks. Those are all movies that have like this like minuscule budget and they do something interesting. And I feel like Pesadilla fits right in along with them. So yeah, check it out if you want. It's on Tubi, Amazon. I'm glad to own a physical copy. Dylan, if you see this, you owe me a fucking signature on it, dude. Any Badoozle. Picked up Madagascar 3. I want to do all the Madagascar movies as a screen to console one day. Found it for $1. So I've gotten Madagascar 2 and 3 for $1. Now I just need to find one. Preferably for $1. I picked up The Substance. This movie was awesome. It won at least one Oscar that I know of. Maybe 2. Really good. Really good movie. Really enjoy it. Very excited to watch it again. I really want to make my wife watch this, although she has zero interest in this. I really want to make her watch it. Maybe one day I'll talk her into it. Basically, if you don't know what this is about an aging actor played by Demi Moore, who hears about the substance, an experimental drug that... Oh, what's up, Dylan? Join us soon to talk about... Yeah, you're like fucking Beetlejuice. I said your name 3 times. You're like, what's up? I'm here. But yeah, the substance. I want to make my wife watch this. But anyway, yeah, she gets this drug that allows her to be rebirthed in a way as a younger actress played by Margaret Qualley. And this movie is just awesome. I keep listening to the soundtrack of this movie. The score to this movie is amazing. I keep thinking about some of the visuals in this movie. The cinematography is beautiful. The effects work is really, really good. And yeah, I'm really excited to watch it again. Like I said, I'm gonna try to force my wife into it, of watching it, and be like, hey, we're gonna watch this. One of my favorite movies of last year, Azrael. Really glad to grab this. Really, really enjoyed this movie. This is a movie about during the apocalypse, where a mute cult, I guess, Samara Weaving's in it. Samara Weaving is fantastic. But anyway, she's a mute that is on the run from this cult, and it is set after the biblical apocalypse. So there's like these demons wandering around, and you don't really get thrown a lot of information. You're just kind of thrown into the deep end with this movie. Now, one thing about this movie is my local theater got this movie for whatever reason for one showtime. Like they had like one 10 o'clock showing for this movie for like a weekend. I have no idea why they had this movie. And yeah, I went and saw it, and I was floored. I left the theater literally thinking to myself, what the fuck was that? It did everything I wanted a horror movie to do. It just got so under my skin, got me to the edge of my seat. I felt fucking anxious through the entire movie. And this movie, for being pretty much dialogueless and pretty much like soundless through the entire movie, because these characters have no vocal cords, so they can't even like yell or scream. You just hear, you know, like stuff like that. So to see a movie like that, but it speaks so loudly to me, was really impressive. I did get to rewatch this one. I will say, some of the people I've shown this to, it's hit or miss. Some of them like it, some of them kind of fucking hate it. I'm in the camp of, I think this movie is a masterpiece. I do think some people will not like this movie. I also think some people don't really understand this movie. Now, for the special effects, I mean, not special effects, for the special features, it's not really great. You do get some cool, like, behind the scenes of, like, the gore effects and stuff, but the commentary to this movie sucks. The commentary is worthless. You get E.L. Katz, you get Simon Barrett, and you get one of the producers in there, and they don't really talk about the movie hardly at all. So that was really disappointing to me. I was hoping for some really interesting like discussions on like why they chose to do certain things, and they didn't, which was really upsetting. They basically just joked around for the entire commentary, and it was a pretty big letdown on that end. But yeah, Azrael is on AMC Plus or Shudder. I definitely recommend it. I know not everybody's gonna love it, but I loved it. Speaking of another movie I loved, what up? Another movie I loved, The Order. This is a film by Justin Kurzel. I want to just say real quick, Justin Kurzel is one of my favorite working directors right now. The dude hits banger after banger and does not let down, other than his Assassin's Creed movie. But I would argue that that might have been a movie made out of necessity, not love, or had a lot of studio intervention. I don't know. That's definitely his weakest movie. I still don't think the Assassin's Creed movie is like a super bad movie. It's just his weakest. But the dude made Snowtown Murders a bona fide 10 out of 10 to me. He made the Macbeth with Michael Fassbender, which is one of the best renditions of Macbeth I've ever seen. He did Nitram, which is just a really, really interesting like character study of a mass shooter. He did The True History of the Kelly Gang, which I've heard, if you know the true history of the Kelly Gang, not super duper faithful, but as a movie, fucking awesome. Really good movie. And now he did The Order, which is fantastic. Justin Kurzel pretty much wants to do movies based around some kind of true event. This one being based around the investigation into, what was his name? Nicholas Holt's character, who is like this right-wing white supremacist trying to start a racial war. And Jude Law's character is an FBI agent trying to investigate him. This movie is filled to the brim with tension. But not only that, is Jude Law, Ty Sheridan, and Nicholas Hoult give some of the best performances. Hey, Dylan, thanks for the $2 donation. I appreciate it, buddy. You didn't have to. Pasadena is my first feature film. All right, fine. Pasadena is his first feature film. We'll disagree on that one, but I'll let you have it because you gave me money. No, seriously though, Dylan, thank you. You did not have to donate. I super appreciate it though. I'll be sure when you start your next Indiegogo to donate $2. At this point, it'd be like what, $6? I think you've donated like $6 to me on stream. So I'll make sure. You know what? I'll top you. I'll do 12. I'll donate 12 to your next Indiegogo. But yeah, anyway, The Order, can't recommend this movie enough. Jude Law's amazing in it. Nicholas Holt's amazing in it. Ty Sheridan's really great in it. Just insanely intense movie. Really, really loved The Order. Definitely check this one out. I grabbed Shaun the Sheep Farmageddon. I grabbed this because I played through the game during February's gaming challenge month that I did. Still working on that video, but I grabbed it because I could turn it into a screen to console. But also, apparently, I didn't have this, and I really like Aardman Studios. I like Shaun the Sheep, so I felt like I should probably just snag this one up. So I did. I also grabbed DC League of Super Pets off of eBay for like next to nothing. This was used and it did not have the digital code, but other than that, it's like in brand new condition. Yeah, I grabbed this because one, I think this is a pretty fun DC like animated little movie with Crypto and Ace, but also I have the game. I bought the game to do a screen to console because I do think the movie is genuinely worth watching. This would be this would be a movie if I was a little kid, I would have watched a million times over. So glad to have that one finally. Also grabbed and finally watched the SpongeBob SquarePants the movie. I asked a couple of my buddies, hey, if I did what would for my screen to console series, what would be like your pick, And my buddy Drew was like, duh, you know what my pick is. I was like, is it SpongeBob SquarePants the movie? He's like, yes. He has been trying for years to get me to watch this movie. I finally watched the movie. It is amazing. This is one of the best film adaptations I've ever seen of like a pre-existing IP. So what I'm thinking about, what I'm talking about is like, think about like the Rugrats, the movie from the TV show. Think about, there's like a bunch of like, they made feature films out of like existing TV shows. I think this one does it the best because this movie, in my opinion, is the perfect, what's the word I'm looking for? Summary, I guess. I don't know. There's a specific word I'm looking for that I can't think of right now. But it is the perfect representation. There it is. Of what SpongeBob SquarePants is, what the TV show is, what the character is, and this movie is amazing. It is a ton of fun. It is by far the best of these SpongeBob movies I've seen, hands down. It's not even close. Yeah, this movie it's genuinely like a 9 out of 10 to me. I would watch this at any point in my life. If someone's like, you want to watch SpongeBob the movie, I'd be like, yeah, I do. It's really good. If there was nothing, if this was the only thing that existed of SpongeBob, the TV show was erased, never existed, it was just this movie, this would still be a 9 out of 10. It is a perfect SpongeBob movie to stand on its own and to exist solely on its own. Genuinely loved it. Also, my same buddy Drew grabbed me a copy of Bulletproof Monk. This is a movie he recommended to me a while ago. I watched it a while ago. This is just a really goofy, fun movie. This is a perfect popcorn movie. Just Sean William Scott, is the Bulletproof Monk. Yeah, it's goofy. It's goofy with like wire working, goofy martial arts, just really fun. Also, there's a live action appearance of Mako, so that was really cool. But yeah, Bulletproof Monk, really goofy, really fun. Oh, I did grab this cool thing of the Gumby movie. I've never seen the Gumby movie, but this was like $1.50 at Big Lots going out of business, and it's really weirdly like laid out as like this like cardboard insert for the Gumby movie, but I just thought it would be a really cool shelf piece more than anything. I will watch it at some point. I love claymation, so I will check this out at some point. I do have a Gumby Christmas special, so. But yeah, I just thought this was cool. And it was really cheap. For like TV shows and sets, I really only have two things to talk about. My mom for Christmas got me Herzog the Collection 2. So I need to get Herzog the Collection 1. I need to do my videos like this sometime. This is fun. Oh yeah, just like live stream it. You should, Dylan. You should, and I'll donate $2 to you. That's how it'll work. But yeah, my mom got me this for Christmas. She was basically like, I get to goon to your life. I told you what that means. You should stop doing that. But yeah, my mom was like, what do you want for Christmas? And I was like, either one of I basically sent her both Herzog links. I was like, either one of these would be sick. She got me two. One, because Volume 1 was sold out on Amazon. Volume 2 was readily available. But also, Volume 2 is a bunch of documentaries. So I'm excited to start this collection. Herzog is a wickedly fascinating character, really interesting director. And I'm excited to venture more into his filmography. I've seen a chunk of his stuff, but there's a bigger chunk that I haven't seen. So I'm really excited to dive into some more Herzog. But I also picked up on Black Friday Teen Titans The Complete Collection. Now, I didn't know this getting it because there's nothing on here. There's nothing on... Let me look real quick. Yeah, okay. That's how you know your mom is mad at you. She got you volume 2, not volume 1. Maybe. That was my lump of coal. But yeah, there's nothing on here that the Teen Titan movie would be on here. It just says complete series. The Teen Titans movie is Trouble in Tokyo. Oh, that was a loose disc. But there's nothing on this release that says it's there. So I just assumed I still needed Trouble in Tokyo. Nope, it's right there in the back of the case. So it really is the complete series, I guess. Herzog 3 would be his iPhone camera roll. I would buy it. I would buy Herzog's camera roll off his phone for sure. He's probably one of them guys that still has like a flip phone though, right? He probably still has like a Razor, like a Motorola Razor, like the old ones. But yeah, this was on Black Friday for $11.99. The original Teen Titan series is fantastic, so really glad to have this. Let's talk VHSs. That's what everybody's here for. Pretty much, I have a couple of VHSs I purchased myself, but almost all these came from my buddy Austin when he was downsizing stuff. So shout out to Austin for giving me a good deal. We'll start off with the Clammies. Werner Herzog's Nosferatu. Look how sick this like VHS artwork is. They just don't make them like they used to, man. What's cool about it is it has like the original like mail-in merch stuff included with it. So I'm excited to watch it at some point, and I'm also more excited to watch it on VHS than I would be on Blu-ray. So I'm gonna watch that sometime soon. I found the Beatles Yellow Submarine for like $3 at a flea market, and I don't give a shit about the Beatles. I'm just not a fan of them. I'm just not. But I do think this would be an interesting movie to watch. But also, like, I just love the artwork to this. It's pretty simple, but it's a striking looking VHS tape. Also, the flea market, I've got How the Toys Save Christmas for $1. Just collecting some like weird Christmas animation stuff. Probably doesn't have a phone. He just yells really loud. The Herzog collar. Have you seen that interview where he gets shot? He's just like, they're standing there talking and he just gets shot. I think it was like a BB. And he just like, oh, I'd have been shot. He's awesome. All right. Everything in this pile is from Austin. Actually, every VHS tape, I'll just talk about this one first. Then we'll talk about everything else be from Austin. So the last tape I bought actually, that's not true. Where's the other one? The last 2 tapes I bought myself. One, I found this one randomly at a thrift store. 8-Man After Perfect Collection. This is... They used to do this weird thing where they would just take episodes of a show and mush them together and call it a film. But that's what this is. And the thing that really intrigued me was the big sticker, not for children, on it. But also, where was it at? On the back of it, contains scenes of extreme violence and sexual situations recommended for mature audiences. And this was only like a couple bucks. And I was just like, I don't know what this is. So I got it. Basically, from what I understand, is it's a mini series they mushed together into a feature film length. So we'll see. At the same place, I also found Going Overboard, the first Adam Sandler movie. I've heard this movie is unbelievably awful, but for $1, why not? You know? So I grabbed the VHS copy. I just thought it'd be a fun piece to own, even if it is like unbearably bad to watch. But you've seen it? You've seen Going Overboard? How bad is it, Dylan? But yeah, so I grabbed those 2. All right, now everything else is from Austin. So grab from him Briar Rabbit and the Wonderful Tar Baby. Something like, I'm trying to be pretty picky when it comes to like what I'm collecting on VHS. And I think the stuff you'll see here is like a representation of that, of what I'm trying to collect. One thing I'm really interested when it comes to VHS is just like obscure, like animated stuff. So this one just looks so weird. Danny Glover reads Briar Rabbit and the Wonderful Tar Baby. So I think it's like a animated, like audiobook. So I'm really curious to see whatever this thing is. Also grabbed Sin City from Austin. This just seemed like such a weird I think it was from Austin. This just seems like such a weird movie to have on VHS. So I'm really curious to see what it looks like on VHS with all the special effects and everything. But also, this is a 2000. When did Sin City come out? 2004, 2005. So it's like on the tail end of VHS is being produced, which I also think is kind of interesting. Dragon Ball Z, the movie, the Tree of Might. I would love to own all of Dragon Ball Z, everything on VHS, because that's pretty much the only way to get the original aspect ratio and all the original music that I grew up with. So I will slowly but surely try to collect as much of this as possible. I got a nice little DBZ VHS collection right now, but when you only get like 4 episodes of tape and there's like 300 episodes, it's a little hard to try to get everything, you know? Grabbed Austin gave me The Blob with Steve McQueen. He says it's criminal that I've not seen any of the Blob movies, so I need to watch this at some point. He also gave me, or sold me, whatever you want to call it, Superfly. I really want to dive into a lot of like blaxploitation. It's a genre that I haven't dove super hard into. I have been collecting nice little pieces of it here and there, so excited to watch some Pam Grier Superfly. It is Pam Grier that's in this one, right? Is it not? It doesn't tell me on the back. What did it tell me on the front? It's not Pam Grier. Interesting. Well, I feel bad now. Oh well. He threw this in. I had never even heard of this. I didn't even know this was a thing. I knew there was a Super Mario Bros. Animated show, but this one is Mario meets Coopzilla. Like, what is this? So, very interested in watching this at some point. It looks so weird. I grabbed from him Animaniacs. Little stuff like this I think is interesting to grab. Animaniacs with some Pinky in the Brain. Not something I would like go out of my way to collect a lot of, but you know, if he's gonna be selling a bunch of this stuff, why not? Now this one he actually grabbed for me. I PayPal'd him because he was like, "Hey man, you want this?" But this is video 5 of the Ronald McDonald, the Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald series. These were VHS tapes, cartoons made by Class B Cuspo. I don't know how you say their name. The guys that did Rugrats and stuff. They did 6 episodes of the Wacky Adventures of Ronald McDonald. Each tape was sold at McDonald's. So I have 1 through 5. Although, except for a tape 6. Tape 6 is like a holy grail tape. It is like virtually impossible to find because it was only sold for like a limited time, only on Class B's Klasky. I don't know how you say their name. It was like only sold on their website, if I believe right. So it's like an insanely rare find to find. I also want to do a video on the whole series at some point. That leaves us to the last bit of VHS tapes before we do the movie review catch up. And that is just an insane stack of Godzilla stuff. That's it. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 Godzilla. Did I read that right? Count that right? Yep. 12. Just a big box of 12 Godzilla movies. Plain and simple. We got the Good Times collection of Godzilla versus Megalon and Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. Standalone versus the Sea Monster. Look at that artwork. Look at it. They just don't make them like they used to, baby. Godzilla versus Destroya. I mean, the artwork on these is just immaculate. Except for this one. Godzilla King of Monsters. That one's kind of boring. Terror of Mechagodzilla, digitally remastered. I mean, look at that artwork. Godzilla's Revenge. So this would put me at like, I think close to like 18 Godzilla movies, I think, on VHS right now. Godzilla versus Mothra. Not to be confused with just Mothra. Godzilla versus Monster Zero. Look at that artwork, dude. Oh, it's gorgeous. Godzilla and Mothra, the battle for Earth. I like just the random Ferris wheel in the background. It's so great. Godzilla versus Cosmic Monster. And Godzilla versus... Now, this one's not sealed. It is open on the bottom. Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. So, but it does have the wrapping around the top. So yeah, I think I put me at like 18 Godzilla movies on tape. Now this is actually the last stack. But yeah, Godzilla is just awesome to collect on tape. It's just cool. Creature from the Black Lagoon. Is it try to slide out on me there? Trying to get a lot of these Universal monster movies on VHS. Creature was high on my list to want to get. This one's still sealed. Marvin the Martian from Looney Tunes. 6 uncut, fully animated cartoons. Just cool. Dinosaurs, which I've never seen. So that will be kind of fun to watch eventually. Cube. This is a movie I've wanted to see for quite some time. I feel like it'd probably be the coolest to watch on VHS. So that's pretty cool. I grabbed this one for Autumn so we can add to the VHS collection. The Addams Family. She's a big Addams Family fan. Addams Family and the Munsters. So grab that. And last but not least, the original Puff the Magic Dragon. I have a different Puff the Magic Dragon, but that's the original. So that's it.